All right, here's an equation where we have two different operations, plus and multiply. It seems like a fairly straightforward equation that should be easy to solve, but if you go really fast without thinking, you're going to want to add 4.5 plus 3.5 because it's pretty easy. 4 plus 3 is 7, a half plus a half is a whole. So 4.5 plus 3.5 is 8, times by 2 is 16. But what I really need you to do is slow down and think about what has to happen when you have two different operations. Please remember, whenever you have two different operations, you have to follow the order of operation, PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We don't have parentheses, we don't have exponents, but we do have to multiply and divide first. So instead of adding these two numbers, we have to multiply these two numbers. So we're going to be multiplying 3.5 times 2 first. And remember, we cannot multiply fractions that have whole numbers. So we need to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we have 7 halves times, and this whole number 2, it needs to turn into a fraction as well by putting it over 1. So now we have 7 halves times 2 over 1. Before we multiply, we can always simplify by cross-canceling. The 7 and 1 are prime numbers, so we can't do anything with those, but the 2's here are even, which means they both share a factor of 2. So we're going to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now we have 7 times 1 is 7, and 1 times 1 is 1. So we're going to take this new answer here, and remember, a fraction over 1 is always a whole number, so 7. And to finish off this problem, we need to do 4.5 plus 7. Whenever I add numbers with fractions, I like to write them vertically and split the whole numbers from the fractions. Now, whenever I have empty spots, you have to remember to put a placeholder. So we're going to do 1/2 plus 0, which is 1/2, and then add the whole numbers. 4 plus 7 is 11. So we get our answer to be 11.5. And always ask yourself if you can simplify the answer. Good job, everyone.